I just wanted to check my email. Like, there was a part of me that felt like maybe if I just check my email, something will come through that will make me feel better. Something will come through on social media that will make me feel better. And I'll be honest, nothing did. Hey guys, my name is Thomas Bresh. I'm the creator of a game called Pinstripe. I'm also working on a game called Once Upon a Coma. I've been making games for about 10 years now, and actually right now I'm an indie developer full-time. I have a family, I have a mortgage coming soon, at least a house is being built currently, and bills to pay. I have a life, right? Just like you guys, there are things that have to be done, and somehow I manage. Somehow I'm actually able to make indie games as my full-time job. So I don't know if I've actually told you a day in the life of it being an indie dev. Now I actually watched a video from Thin Matrix. It was a great video and he did a really good job explaining what he does in his daily routine as an indie developer. So I want to give you some things that I pretty much do every single day as an indie developer. Now, like many of you, the first thing I do is actually I just wake up at 7 o'clock, 7:20 in the morning, throw on a t-shirt, throw on some pants, brush my teeth, get a cup of coffee, and head to the office. Now, the office is a constantly changing setting. I'll be honest with you, currently, right now, I am in my parents' basement making indie games. Now, that's always been changing, so when I first started making games, I was actually upstairs, same house as an 18-year-old 10 years ago, making games in my bedroom. I went to college, made games from the basement of the library of Clemson University, also made games from my dormitory, got married, got a full-time job, made games from the small little office in a house me and my wife rented, also made games from the cubicle that I worked in as a graphic designer during my lunch break. And when me and my wife finally built a house, our previous house that we just sold, I decked out the garage as much as I could, and I worked from the garage. So as you can see, it doesn't really matter where you are as an indie developer, just as long as you stay creative and have the proper equipment to actually make a game. Once I arrive at the studio, whatever that means, I just sit down, and the second thing that I do is I try and get my social media and my email and all the various communication outlets for indie developers. I try and get that under control. Discord is usually blown up overnight. Email has usually blown up overnight. Social media, that includes Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, that's blown up overnight. And so for me, it's really important to just clean everything up as much as possible. Now, the way that I decide what I'm gonna work on is kind of up to me, right? I'm my own boss. So I actually have a task list on Google Drive that I just open up, and it's a list of things I gotta do. And I'll sort through which ones I wanna work on for the day. It's actually a really cool job when you think about it. There's a million things to do, right? So that can be pretty stressful. But once you actually look at those million things, kind of embrace it, learn to enjoy the constant wave of things to do, you can start picking and choosing things you want to do. So for me today was, well, I want to write a vlog, I want to do tax stuff because I got to do some tax stuff for tax season. Maybe I'll work on a couple animations for the cutscenes in the game, and maybe I'll work on some songs, right? And then I'll put that together in a task list, and then I'll start from the top and just go down. Obviously this mentality changes the closer you get to a launch. When you get to a launch, things are pretty ordered. You got to get things done in order. But for me right now, as we're polishing up Once Upon a Coma, it's not really a launch season yet. I can pretty much take whatever I want from the task list and work on it. So yesterday I spent a lot of time just writing music, right? And I found that even though it can be lonely in a basement, even though it can be lonely in my parents' basement or in a garage or in a home studio somewhere, I found that one of the best things indie developers can do is just start live streaming their work. And you guys know that I live stream pretty much every day. If you do want to see those live streams, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon. Also during this week, I've done some sound effect work, so I'll open up Audacity. And there's this really cool website called Production Crate, and I actually reached out to them to see if they would be interested in sponsoring the channel. They said yes. So Production Crate is our first sponsor for this channel, so thank you so much, Production Crate. Guys, Production Crate has some incredible sound effects, graphics, songs, things you can use to bring into your game so you don't have to record Foley sound effects or create particle effects or anything like that for your trailers. It's all available on Production Crate. Guys, I've been using Production Crate for 2 years, so if that's something you're interested in, head on over to Production Crate. There's a link in the description and see if that's something for you. So I'll take sound effects, I'll write some music, I'll open up Audacity, or I'll be in Photoshop, I'll be programming in Unity, right? We're just juggling all these different pieces of software. It's very important for me not to get sort of drowned in the weight and the pressure of all this stuff to do, right? I'm wearing a million hats. Right now I'm just wearing one, but usually I wear a lot of hats. That's a joke. It's really important for me to stay focused and to not lose my freaking mind. It's really important for me to enjoy my job, right? And things can get really stressful really fast. I try and do things that get me outside of the studio and outside of my own head. When you're constantly doing entrepreneurship, you can get stuck in your head, especially with indie games. When you feel the pressure and the weight of all the things you got to do, it's very easy to get stuck in your head, start getting stressed, depressed, anxious. So what I do, I jump out of a plane, right? I go on trips. I go to Iceland, or I go to Peru, or last year we went to Italy. I try and make that a priority. And a lot of you think, well, I don't really have the budget for that. Well, for me, it was really hard to make it work with our budget as well, but I knew how important it was to travel and see things and experience the world and to do things that scare me, because when I'm constantly stuck inside of this square, right? I'm looking at my computer, I feel like I'm stuck in the Matrix, right? All day working on games. It's really important for me to sort of get a jolt, get an exciting, adventurous jolt to get me out of my head, because once I come back to the studio after jumping out of a plane or going to Italy, once I come back to the studio, I'm energized and I'm ready to make games. It's really hard to make an adventure if you're not adventuring yourself. So the rest of the day is writing C# code or illustrating stuff in Photoshop, animating in Spine, putting a scene together in Unity, creating a trailer, or this is one of my favorite parts of making a game, getting to know people, just reaching out to people in email, seeing if there's any marketing opportunities or partnerships you can make. So right now, YouTube is a really cool thing for me as an indie developer. It really helps my studio, so I actually reach out to a lot of other YouTubers and see if they want to collaborate. So I juggle a lot of different stuff throughout the day, and it's not like I'm juggling like maybe different colored balls. Just go with the metaphor for a second. It's like I'm juggling a knife, and then an orange, and then a baby doll, and then a block. Like there's just all these different shapes and things that I have to watch out for as I'm juggling. And so I'd say if you want to become an indie developer and have your own schedule that you work through, just remember you're going to have to balance a lot of different things. That includes marketing yourself and your game, coding and developing and animating. You're gonna be wearing a ton of different hats, and you might feel pressure that you have to know how to do everything. But there is joy, there's an ability to have joy in the constant change of being an indie developer. Some of you know that I've said this before, one of the best ways that you can enjoy the constant pressure and change of being an entrepreneur and a game developer is to cut off your day at a certain point and go straight to the gym. So once it hits 4:30 p.m. for me, I try and beat the traffic and I head straight to the gym. Now going to the gym is really important for me because it allows me to get all that stress, all that pressure of being an indie developer, being an entrepreneur, and I can sort of release that pressure into a bench press, right? Or a squat, or a deadlift, or some curls, right? And I know it sounds kind of weird, but believe it or not, physically exerting yourself, exercising after the end of a crazy stressful day can really help your mental health, and honestly makes you want to go back to the office the next day. Go to the gym, back to the office the next day, and kind of rinse and repeat. It's a great cycle. I really enjoy it. It's being mentally and creatively active for half of your day. And then the next half is going to the gym and then coming home to maybe your family and being able to relax. If you don't do those two, you might really struggle with mental health as an indie developer. All right, the final thing I do after I'm done with the gym, and this is so important, is I take my phone, which has all my work email on it, has Discord, all of my social media. Lately, I take my phone and I stick it in a drawer because it is so easy as an indie developer and an entrepreneur to constantly swipe down to try and refresh the page, right? Refresh your email. Did that email come through? Am I going to get funding for this? Or did this person email me and want to collaborate with me? Or social media, do people like my game? And do they like the screenshot I posted? That is a very unhealthy way to be an indie developer. So part of my day is actively not working in the evenings. And I think my wife will tell you that this has been a real challenge for me. It's been a really hard challenge because I always want to be reaffirmed, especially like yesterday was a really stressful day. There was a financial situation that came up and it was really challenging for me. And it was really hard for me to go to the gym even. I think I just walked the track because I was really upset. And then I went home and I just wanted to check my email. Like there was a part of me that felt like maybe if I just check my email, something will come through that will make me feel better. Something will come through on social media that will make me feel better. And I'll be honest, nothing did. Nothing came through that made me feel better. But that's part of being an entrepreneur. Not every day is going to be a great day. Not every day you're going to feel good about your work. That's okay. That's the way it is. If you can't handle that, maybe you shouldn't be an entrepreneur. Maybe you shouldn't be an indie developer. So put your phone away in the evenings. I've found that that's really helpful, and maybe just have a beer or two. And hopefully you can relax, watch some Netflix with your family, and be ready for the next day. All right, guys, that is my day as an indie developer. I do this every day, rinse and repeat. It's a great job. It's awesome. Doesn't mean it's not difficult. I love it. Not going to be in this basement forever, building a new studio in a couple months, and I'm going to be moving to that. I'll keep you guys updated on that. If you found this video helpful, if you liked it, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all those cool things, leave a comment, and I'll try to answer as quick as I can. Finally, I just want to say one quick thing. The reason why I make videos on YouTube, one of the main reasons, is Patreon helps support my game development and the studio itself. So if you want to support me, if you want to support the studio, if you want to see more videos, head on over to Patreon and support for $5 or more a month. You'll see your name in the credits of videos. You'll see your name in the stream. If you want to see private streams, if you want to participate in VIP private streams, consider joining the Brush Club, where you can join private streams and talk to me individually in the chat. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later. See ya. Bye.